Hope you guys are all having an awesome evening or morning, whatever side of the world you're on. Hello around the world. Today's video is going to give you a peek into how I would meal prep and how I track in my MyFitnessPal. Now, keep in mind, most of my meals are going to be pretty simple, pretty basic, because especially for the newbie, if you try to throw in too many things, it's going to get overwhelming, it's going to get confusing. So I'm just going to stick with some really basic stuff, just so you can get an idea of how it works and how it goes. And then you can build off of that. You can get as creative as you want once you have an idea of how it works. So I'll be breaking it down for you and showing you how I meal prep, how I put meals together. The biggest key when it comes to following macros and to the flexible dieting, if you are going to follow those numbers, is planning ahead, always being one step ahead. Until you're ready and you've established and you feel comfortable and you're able to meet your goals every day, just start with super basic until you can feel comfortable to start getting creative. So, and that's usually how it goes with a lot of my clients, is we start out and it's so overwhelming, so we start out with just some super basics, and as they get comfortable, they start getting creative. So just start with what you can manage, what you can handle, what you feel comfortable with, then go from there. I meal prep the night before. I probably do a very large meal prepping 1-2 times a week, so I don't have to be constantly cooking throughout the week, because especially with my schedule and the majority of you don't have time to be cooking every single day. Unless you have a family, you know, obviously you have to be you'll be cooking dinners every night. But the rest of the meals, you know, you can already have your pre-planned stuff, so all you have to do is take from it, take what you need, and boom, you're ready to go. It lessens that time that you're in the kitchen. The key is actually taking the time to do a large meal prep and then meal prep all your meals. You have to find what works for you. The night before, the day of, it varies from person to person, their schedule, their routines, so you have to play around with it and do what's for you. For me, it works best to do it the night before, and then I don't have to worry about it at all day until I get home and I have like my last meal. I know my schedule pretty well, so I usually 2 to 3 meals I am prepping the night before. The other meals are kind of just random. Meal 1, breakfast, I have a little bit more flexibility to just make it the morning of, and my last meal of the day, again, more flexibility to just do it at night before I go to bed. And I eat whenever I want. I don't cut off my eating time at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. I eat all the way up until at least 30-40 minutes before I go to bed, or an hour. Alright guys, let's start this meal prep and get you guys familiar and share with you how this all goes down. Alright guys, this is how my evenings go down when I meal prep. I literally pull out every single container of pre-prepped food and spread it out over the counter. We have everything from food that I have personally cooked or items that were already pre-packaged. What you need, and I highly recommend, is a food scale. A food scale helps you to better track exactly what you need for each meal. You also need containers for the desired amount of meals. This varies from person to person, how many you want and how many you need. I usually only need 3. My food options for tonight's meal prep is purple cabbage, Mexican flavored crock-pot chicken, steamed broccoli. I usually do not pre-cook a lot of vegetables because they tend to go bad really fast, but if I know I'm going to eat them quick, I will pre-prep them. Unflavored pre-cooked brown rice. Sometimes I flavor my brown rice with Mexican seasonings or various other herbs and spices, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I'm feeling. Sauteed green beans with a balsamic and roasted onion seasoning from Whole Foods, diced and pan-fried sweet potatoes or yams, peeled and sliced hard-boiled eggs, bison hamburgers. We are also going to use zucchini, avocado, cherry tomatoes, and salsa. Can't forget my favorite bread, sprouted California style by Alvarado Street. First things first, we're going to open up our MyFitnessPal and you're going to select tomorrow's meals. We are going to start on meal 2. As you can see, I already have a list of recent food items food items that I actually use a lot. MyFitnessPal keeps track of the food items that you use a lot so that it's quick and easy to access and put into your meals. For this meal, meal 2 is what we're going to call it, I'm going to take my spiralizer and I'm going to make zucchini noodles. I will take my food container and set it on my food scale. Then I will prepare the desired amount of zucchini. In this case, we are going to do 3 ounces. When following flexible dieting, you never have to stick to one specific number. If you want 6 ounces of zucchini, have 6 ounces. If you only want 2, have 2. Just depends on what you want. Now I'm going to add 3 ounces of crock-pot chicken. You want to spread out your protein intake throughout the day. So basically each meal should have a protein. So I decided I wanted to add olive oil to this meal. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. Remember, you are free to choose what you want your fat to be. In this case, I wanted olive oil. Olive oil is the purest and most concentrated form of fat. 1 tablespoon has 14 grams of fat, no carbs, and no protein, making it super easy to track while saving your carb and protein numbers for something else. Here I'm going to season this meal with the Everything Flavor God seasoning. Now you're going to go back to your MyFitnessPal and you're going to put in all the items and the serving sizes you just did. Now you can track them, each item as you go, or do it all at once you have prepared the meal. For beginners, it might be easier to track and log 1 item at a time, where those who are comfortable and familiar, just like myself, will add everything after I've prepped the meal. Some items you may have to search for, and some items you will be able to scan into your MyFitnessPal. Meal 2 is completed. Once you hit on remaining, it will show you your totals, your goal, and what's left for the day. By seeing these numbers, they help guide you and keep you on track, so you can have variety and flexibility in your diet while staying within your goal number. So we're back at meal 2 again. I decided I wanted to put tomatoes with this. The beauty of flexible dieting and macros is you can certainly add tomatoes in. So I grabbed 4 tomatoes, which accounted for 1.9 ounces. All you have to do is go back to your MyFitnessPal and log 1.9 ounces for your tomatoes. For this next meal, we are going to call it meal 3. You are going to repeat the same process as we did for meal 2, just with different food items. You will go back to your MyFitnessPal, click on meal 3, and add the appropriate food items and the serving sizes you did. Now you can see that your total number has gone up, and the numbers to your far right is what you have left for the day. Now we're on to the next meal. We are going to call this meal 4. Craving something similar to a hamburger? Well, let's make something that's similar to a hamburger. Here I am taking 2 slices of the whole grain sprouted bread, putting them in a baggie to keep them separate from the other food items so they don't get soggy and it stays fresh. You will be repeating the same process from the first 2 meals. So 2 patties came out to 3.4 ounces. Let's add some avocado, because a burger is not complete without some avocado. Here I have added 1.5 ounces. I added yellow mustard to my container. You should still track your mustard because depending on the brand you get, it may have carbs, sugar, or fat. I added sriracha ketchup. I will also be tracking this as well. For my greens, I will be using spinach leaves. And yes, you do want to track your spinach even if it's a small amount, because spinach does have carbs and protein. Alright guys, are you getting familiar? Are you getting comfortable yet? You're going to go back to your MyFitnessPal, you're going to go to meal 4, and you're going to add the appropriate food items and the serving sizes you just did. Remember, you may have to search or scan for certain food items if they don't automatically come up in your recent list. If a food item does not have a barcode, Have no fear. All you have to do is search for the appropriate food item in the search bar. Now you can see I've already almost reached my total for fat for the day. So this is just where you won't be adding any more fats to your meal. I decided I wanted to add a protein shake to my day. So in this case, instead of doing a full scoop, I'm only going to be doing a half scoop. You're gonna go back to MyFitnessPal and I'm going to add it to meal 1. The reason I'm adding it to meal 1 is because I work out in the mornings and I take my shake right after my workout. I personally like to pre-plan and log my breakfast the night before. Here I am going to do 4 ounces of vanilla flavored muscle egg, which is flavored egg whites, and 3 ounces of oatmeal. I'm also going to add acai powder and stevia. Now this can change from day to day. Sometimes when I wake in the morning, I want something different. And the beauty of flexible dieting is you can change it last minute if you want to. Alright guys, I woke up this morning and decided I still wanted the meal that I had pre-planned from the night before. All I did to prep this, which was super quick and easy, was put my oatmeal in a bowl, boiled some water, poured the water onto my oatmeal, let it sit for about 5 minutes, then I added my muscle egg, vanilla egg whites, then I added my acai powder and my stevia. Yes, you can eat muscle egg whites raw. The consistency and the flavor is actually pretty good. I personally like it and haven't had a problem with it, and I'm pretty picky when it comes to texture. The nice thing about pre-planning it the night before is it's quick and easy to put it together. One less thing to think about. Easy peasy. What up guys? It is the end of the day. We finished the day. So I'm gonna show you what to do at the end of the day when you're cutting close with your macros. Oh, I also did, that I didn't include earlier in the video, I did have coconut chocolate chip. So me and Zach shared one of these, so I did half of that. So I was like, you know what, I want it. So I had macros, so I fit it in there. And, you know, as it gets to the end of the night, then you have to play around with some numbers. So I added in the complete cookie. I did half of that. Also, you guys see these quick adds here. Okay, so you saw that there was 5 grams a quick add, so that is 5 grams of protein. Well, what that 5 grams is my BCAAs. I'll explain a little bit about BCAAs so you know why I calculated 5 grams of protein. So here we have the BCAA that I use, which is the Stance. BCAA is a branched chain amino acid. You need those to help recover muscle tissue and various other things in your body too. So now in this container, it has L-leucine, L-isoleucine, and L-valine. Those are in particular amino acid that you use for recovery and repair of muscle tissue. There is 5 grams total in each serving of those ingredients. So think of that, that's like 5 grams protein basically, but it's just in a concentrated form, easier for your body to digest and absorb, quicker absorption too, versus if you're eating a meat product, you have to eat that, your body has to break it down, and then it takes a while for it to get through your body. So that's why supplementing BCAAs are awesome. I think BCAAs are a must if you're in a fat loss program because this is going to help maintain muscles. There's 5 grams of those essential amino acids, so basically protein, in 1 scoop of your BCAAs. So I count for that 5 grams as 5 grams protein. So I take that, I minus it from my daily protein goal. That's why supplementing it is awesome. So especially those who don't eat meat products, you know, supplementing it is awesome. Or, I mean, some of us can't even stomach that much meat. Supplementing a BCAA is awesome, and why I like it, why it's always a staple in my fitness lifestyle. I don't know if you guys knew that about BCAAs. Knowledge, 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 knowledge. But now you guys know. So now we're on the last meal of the day, and sometimes numbers are almost used up, which it makes it hard to be super creative. So before I make my meal, I play around with my MyFitnessPal food items and numbers to get an idea of what food items I can use to fill up my remaining macro numbers. I usually stick with just egg whites because it's the purest form. There's only protein, no carbs, and no fat. This way you can increase or decrease your protein needs fairly easy without changing your fat or carb number. I like to make omelets with my egg whites. I usually add garlic powder, pepper, sea salt, and paprika. Now I only had about 30 or so grams of carbs left, so here I'm going to take 2 slices of bread, cut one in half, and only have 1.5 slices. I figured this out by playing with the MyFitnessPal number of the bread until I met my carb goal. So same thing for fat. I only needed so many grams, which ended up coming to 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. Just like I said earlier, oil is the purest form of fat. No carbs or protein, just fat. Here I am buttering my bread with coconut oil, so I can add stevia and cinnamon for a toasty sweet treat. Oh, and yes, of course I added ketchup because I am obsessed with ketchup. Where's my ketchup lover friends at? Ketchup on everything! And here is what my numbers look like at the end of the day. I have about 2 grams over protein, 160, so 5 grams shy of my goal, and spot on with my fat. It's best to be above or below about 5 grams of your protein and your carbs. You don't have to hit the exact number every single day, so don't stress yourself out with that. And it's good to be about 3 grams below fat, or if just so happens you end up cutting even. So just remember, you don't have to hit your number spot on every single day. You just kind of want to be within that number range and you're gonna be just fine. Alright guys, that's pretty much how a meal prep goes down in HunnyBuns' house. If you guys liked this video, please like it. Thumbs up. Yeah? And please share it. This is not boring. Why are you yawning? I love you. You're not going to get any of this. Zach's going to eat all that cheese. Zach's making his last meal of the day. Oh, that looks so good. He's eating all that cheese. He eats a lot of cheese. He eats a lot of cheese.